a NUS undergrad, to share on students' expectations of use of IT in teaching and learning. Dean, please.
In July last year. Engineering. Yep, and interest, of course, engineering is one of my interests, which is why I chose the course in the first place. But one of the things I like is actually media production, which I started since I'm in secondary school. But never have I been able to do it any better until I attended the courses here. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through about how is it like taking an engineering class as an engineering student here. Over here is a typical classroom. This is actually a power module, a power supply module. So the lecture notes will just be showcased on the screen using PowerPoint, and the lecturer will be there standing, giving a lecture. And if the lecturer is more interactive, he will sometimes just use a tablet and draw the solutions on them, step by step, through guidelines. And actually, we enjoy this a lot because it's quick for the lecturer on one hand to just erase everything at one go and just start fresh, or let the students come and try themselves. And if the lecturer prefers the traditional handwritten method, there's always the OHP, which I will never miss. Yep, and yeah, we actually like that too, because the lecturer actually goes step by step again. And one of the things I love about the IVLE that I use so often is that it gives me live updates. Besides sending it to my emails, updates regarding a mistake in the lecture notes, or there's a new reference material. Oh, the first one is actually the media production class by Dr. Carroll. He was updating us on that the coming program is going to be the last day of the program, and also directing us to another new fellow that we can seek advice from. The next one is actually a notes from my engineering ethics class. Yeah, so it's fast, and I can receive it on my SMS too. Okay, the favorite thing that most of my friends enjoy is actually the webcast lectures, because if we miss the lectures, let's say we oversleep, there's always the webcast as a backup. And the webcast lectures are actually quite nice because of this. I mean, it's like that. This is one of my older productions for a business module, MNO, Management Organization. So the lectures goes like that. The webcast lectures goes like that, and sometimes the camera would
coming to school needing, isn't it?
go out, and you see the whole lecturer giving the speech itself.
Being willing to, well, maybe you didn't have any choice.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Webcast lectures. And then there's the library portal. Library portal is awfully useful because when I was in junior college and even in primary school, wherever we need a book or reference material, we had to go physically to the library to check it out and see if they have it. Otherwise, we'll just go on to the National Library or sneak into our seniors' NUS accounts or NTU accounts, which I did when I was in JC. Yeah. Thankful we have that. And of course, the workspace. And one thing, besides the usual workspace that consists of our modules and the work bins, one feature I enjoy using is actually the communities. Well, mainly because I can use it for my school project and my CCA. And again, it's here. Oops. Okay, over here, we have workspace. And under workspace, we have communities. And let's check this out. This is actually for my religion and film class that I took it as a GEM. Then one of the things I use is actually the online meetings, but it just doesn't seem to be that effective because we get to use Skype. But anyway, we are glad that it's there. It's just not as user-friendly. Okay, there's web links, and we can also work it out like the normal modules. Okay, then we have back to our PowerPoint. Okay, then to supplement our projects, we actually use Google Docs, makes use of Google Docs, and we can actually edit on the fly. And as well as Facebook. In Facebook, Facebook under groups, I have numerous groups from all my project team over the 4 years. Coming to 4 years, not yet 4. Finally, I'm going to discuss a bit about the earlier days and how it's improved so far. Well, like I said, in primary school, secondary school, we are relying on chalkboards and whiteboards. And actually, it's not that bad. It's just that it's not fast enough. And we prefer it to be a bit faster because our attention span isn't as long as our parents. Yeah, and also the flexibility of studying at our own pace. We tend to oversleep quite a bit or sleep during class. But that's that. Okay, then during national service, I had a short stint as an instructor. I teach technical components, how to repair vehicles. And the way the class was conducted was using the old standard, the teacher-to-student method with teach down. And that was a problem because I observed that the students, or my friends, when I was a trainee, is that some of them learn at a faster pace and some of them just can't catch up. So what I did was I simply set up a forum, and I found that very useful. The forum consists of the documents like the car manual, car repair manual, and so on. So in fact, I could just draw tips out for them, draw the whole engine system out, and as well as the fuel system for them to refer to revise for their examinations. So I think technology is actually accelerating the learning. Oh, this is actually part of Dr. Carroll's class. As you can see, Dr. Carroll's over there. This is the whole class. And I had an enjoyable time being in this class, mainly because, well, first, there's no final papers. And reports, not really in existence, because we just need to submit a daily journal during our trip over there, as well as a class-by-class journal that we need to submit twice a week. And yeah, it's every time I go to class, it's always lighthearted, although the course content can be quite heavy, but I enjoy it. And this is when we are in Thailand. So after the 3 weeks of instructional period, we went to Thailand and start our production. So throughout the way, we actually make use of the cameras provided by the school. Well, in my case, I was using the standard, my own DSLRs, but that's another choice, my choice altogether. And well, with that, instead of writing reports, we could show what it is as it is. And it was a hell lot of fun because with that camera in front, it actually puts you in front to interview live locals, locals live, interview them live. And, well, they ought to be alive, right? Yeah. So we get to interact with them in person rather than through books. And the camera actually forces us to do that in a way. And of course, the important thing that we learn from that is to always ask for permission. Okay. And on we are. This is the post-production period, and there's Dr. Carroll's beautiful daughter, who appear briefly in our video. And this is the green screen we're running on it. Later, I'll show you the clip on how we actually edit. The editing results using a green screen. And this is the period. This is the software we are using. Dr. Carroll introduced the iMovies. Then he also introduced to us the Final Cut Pro X. My preference is Final Cut Pro, mainly because it's very versatile. And compared to iMovies, once you get the hang of it, it's way easier to use. Yep, that's my teammate with Dr. Carroll after spending, I think, 72 hours non-stop in school because our hard disk crashed. Yeah, that's another lesson to learn. Okay, so all in all, right, throughout my 4 years, for my engineering modules, I actually produced three videos for it, all for presentation purposes. The first one is actually documenting my robot This is a nurse assisting robot. And the next one is actually more of a promotional video for our hypothetical product of using killing larvae to control mosquitoes with ultrasound. Not that impressive, didn't impress the lecturers, but it was interesting. And the ethics module, engineering ethics, this was interesting because after taking the module, after learning the skills of media production, I could simply use my phone. Just relying on my phone, I could make a whole production for my engineering ethics presentation in 15 minutes. It was a short presentation to begin with. And business modules and social science, this is the one that Dr. Carroll was talking about. Okay, then it comes to podcasts. The IVLE does provide podcast streaming too, and podcast isn't new to us either. Podcast, this is actually at the Radio Pulse recording studio down at the U-Town Starbucks. So these are my friends from Radio Pulse, and they are making a recording. Actually, it's an improv recording where they'll just play a random tune and they just create lyrics on the fly. So the advances that we had so far that I find that has been very useful for me is that it's interactive. First of all, it's interactive. We get to use multimedia productions, let's say, or even the IVLE itself, and then we can just communicate on the fly, upload our projects. In fact, uploading projects has been very useful because we don't have to print a hard copy like before, and we just send in a soft copy, upload it, it's done. Then also the other thing I realized is that in my previous HR module, Human Resources module, business module, we had to write a report regarding our own experience, reference from our own experience or somebody else's experience. And it lasted all the way to about 30 to 50 pages. And I doubt anybody would be really bothered to read word by word about it. So what the course wanted us to do was to create a video that consolidates the main essence of what your report is trying to talk about. And that actually sped what you're trying to tell the class all the way through my presentation. I showed them the video, and that was it. So there's actually an increasing focus and need to me since my year one here on the use of multimedia productions for my school product to make an impressive presentation. And of course, the flexibility and capturing the attention of the audience while using multimedia. And, well, the final thoughts that I have is actually, it's been user-friendly. IVL has been user-friendly. The only issue I have is that the user-friendliness could have been improved, mainly because of the way the layout is formed. For some reason, we take quite a bit of time trying to figure out what this does, what that does. Although there are helps along the way, but the videos are pretty long. For example, if I compare to Facebook or Google, it's quite intuitive. Straight away, they put the option there. We know it's obvious, and then the wording they use is also quite straightforward, and we catch on right away. And the supplements, Google Docs and Facebook, continues to be very useful for our students. Oh, and about IVLE, there's this useful feature that I miss a lot, and that's the chat feature. The chatting feature allows me to chat with my classmates. Although the forum substitutes for it, and the forum has been there for a long time, the chat feature seems to put me in a more casual mode. I can just chat along the way and to anyone I like. Okay, and now I'm going to show you a bit of the video. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you a video that I did to document my robot. Okay, this robot, what it does is it basically navigates which bit it should go. And then the communication is actually wireless, and the operation is actually touch screen to reduce human interaction with the system. Let's say if I use touch screen as compared to buttons, well, the buttons may collect more germs than the touch screen does. And this is a wireless control. So we have this robot to carry a host of products, let's say documents, food, to the patient. So this is one method that we applied video productions to document our robots in engineering. And of course, as I promised, the green screen production.
What are they doing?
They are praying, and their hand gestures are part of a social etiquette called why.
Why?
That's a good question. Let's go ask Uncle Joe.
Okay.
Buddha or monk, we pray. This is how we do. And we do different. If you see the people pray to each other, just friends, they just pray like that. But if you see the children pray to you, when you come, they do to you. They do the head lower than you. Because they are younger than you, they do lower than you. So when you go to your school, when they see you, they do like this. Yeah. But when the teacher do to the student, just do like this. Because they are elder. But if you do to a monk, high status, even the king, they do like this. You can see.
Yep. So there's a short stint in Thailand that we did. And if you're interested, I can link you to the YouTube video. Oh, and regarding the presentations earlier, NUS Wiki. NUS Wiki, my experience is with the robot module, we need to document. And, well, NUS Wiki is actually useful for me to present my documents, my robots, the blueprints of the robot, the codings. The only issue is that the link is a bit incoherent while I was using it. And the terrible part is after I finish that module, my whole work is gone because it was wiped out from the system. And when I try to engage my juniors about what we have done, it's a bit hard for me to showcase afterwards. Then flip side of mastery. That one is Professors McMorran, sorry. Actually that is a norm with me and my friends. We can't explain why it could be the education system that we grew up with. I'm sorry about that. That's about it. Thank you very much.